Hello everyone and welcome back to This Is Real Life. I'm your host Vilma, and on today's Real Life Friday video, we're gonna discuss your Halloween costume. I was just kidding, you guys. It's totally me. It's your host, Sherry. But Velma was right. On today's Real Life Friday video, we are going to discuss your Halloween costume because it is officially October 1st, the kickoff of Halloween season. And if you are the type of person that saves the planning of your Halloween costume until the last minute, I am here to tell you we've got to change that mindset. We've got to start thinking about our Halloween costumes right this second. And the reason being is because if we wait till the last second, we're going to end up going to the Party City or the Halloween store, and we're going to get stuck spending $8 million on a fucking packaged sexy skeleton costume. And we can't have that. We simply cannot have that. Not on my watch, at least. As I'm sure you have gathered, I am a huge fan of Halloween, and every single year I make my costume, Davis's costume, anybody's costume who needs to have it made, I will make it. And yes, sometimes I do get out the sewing machine and I do sew intricate costumes like Dorothy right here. I sewed that from scratch. But then there are other times, like Velma, I didn't sew one thing. When you are planning your Halloween costume, it truly is all about the details. For Velma, for example, you look up a picture of Velma from Scooby-Doo. You take it with you to the thrift store, to the Walmart, to the wherever, and you try to find her pieces of clothing. Now, I did exactly that. Printed out a picture of Velma, took her with me. First, I went to the thrift store. I found her beautiful skirt right here. But when I found it, it wasn't Velma's skirt color. I forget what color this even was. Maybe like a pink? So it was just a pink tennis skirt that I think I got for like $4. I went and bought some Rit dye to dye it, and it's the perfect match to her skirt. Don't even try to play me because it is. And then for her sweater, I couldn't find one that was baggy enough, that was a turtleneck, that had all the details that Velma had. So I did end up going to the Walmart, and I got this sweater that originally was cream, and I Rit dyed it orange. Along with, I got these socks at the Walmart too. I think they were a light pink with like a darker pink up here. I dyed them in the same pile of orange dye that I dyed this sweater. And then I lucked out because I did find these shoes that were the perfect match to the skirt. They were already this color at the thrift store. Surprisingly, they're Steve Madden. And then for the other details, her hair and her glasses, I actually think I used my real hair at the time because I was growing it out, and so I had the perfect bob. But any old wig from the party store will do. And then for her glasses, it's so about the details with me. I got these glasses at Target. I think I remember actually these glasses being the most expensive purchase for this entire costume. They were sunglasses. I popped out the sunglass part. What I did was I took plastic from like a hard plastic container on the cartoon to show that she had glasses. They actually like made her glasses kind of have a blue tint to them. I colored the plastic blue, and that gave the total effect of the Velma glasses. It was perfect. I don't know where the other one went. Point of the story is details. And because it's all about the details, that's why you need to start now. You need to start thinking about your costume. You need to start thinking about if you're gonna do a theme with your family, with your kids, with your friends, whatever the case may be, and start the hunt now so that you can A, get stuff for super cheap, and B, maybe not have to sew a thing. But if you are good at sewing, that's an option too. Just go to the fabric store, pick out a pattern of a dress or what have you that is the perfect match to the character that you wanna be, and then sew your ass a new costume. You may be thinking, oh, I'm old. I don't dress up for Halloween anymore. Well, I'm old too, and I dress up every single year, whether I have a Halloween party to go to or not. I dress up just to pass out candy to the kids that come to my door. They get the hugest kick out of it, and it just makes it so much more fun. I have been Britney, the Britney wedding dress, you know, when she was in that scandal from the MTV Music Awards where she and Christina Aguilera like performed with Madonna and then they kissed each other. I've been a million things. The reason why we're going over this today, you might be like, oh, okay, whoop-de-doo, a walk down memory lane of Sherry's Halloween costumes. Well, yeah, kind of. But what I want to show you is how you can make your Halloween costume on the cheap out of things that you may not even have imagined. Those Halloween costumes that they sell at the party store are A, ridiculously overpriced, and B, cheap as fuck for the price that you're paying, and C, they don't have all the details. Oh, we put this like really thin material shirt in the package, but you know, if you want the socks and then you want the headband and you want the nails, that's all separate. And before you know it, you're walking out of that Halloween store trying to be Velma $100+ later when you could make your own Velma costume for 25, 30 bucks. Pretty simple. Expensive but cheap, or cheap but well-made and full of details Halloween costume. I'm just saying. 10 of them are like slutty versions of Velma, where the costume includes a bare midriff. Velma did not show her midsection. They call it Brainy Babe. It's $65.95. And number 2, she didn't have Scooby-Doo. I could not find a stuffed animal dog that looked like Scooby-Doo. So I just bought a brown stuffed animal and then I painted these black spots on him like Scooby-Doo, and then I made his collar out of paper and ribbon. And then in real life, Davis was Scooby-Doo. He dressed up as Scooby-Doo. So Velma costumes between $45 and $65, cheaply made, or my very precisely done Velma costume for like 25, 30 bucks. I'm doing this video to get you to start thinking about what you want to be for Halloween and to get you to start thinking about how you're gonna be that. So I'm just gonna show you some things that I have been and what I use to create those little details that make all of the difference. Example number 2. Let me get her down. This is my Jessie costume from the Toy Story. This one is a little bit of sewing and a little bit of ingenuity. First off, wig, I think this is a Raggedy Ann wig. I just changed it so that it was a braid in the back. Because she is a toy, I felt like don't use actual ribbon, let's use the foam stuff so it keeps its shape. I did spend a pretty penny on her exact hat, because this is, I felt, was the only thing that I couldn't really make to look exactly like it. If you do end up having to buy like one key piece, that's okay, don't worry about it, because you're gonna make everything else. For Jessie's shirt, I bought a long polo shirt. I took some yellow fabric. Did I just hot glue this on or did I sew it? Sometimes I hot glue stuff. It's just a Halloween costume, who cares? But to get this little rope detail, I just used a Sharpie and I drew the rope detail on here. I also added the pull string, and then she's got these little things on her wrists. I literally cut the top or the bottom out of a Solo cup and covered it in yellow fabric, added these little foam pieces on, added more little foam detail pieces to make it look exactly like her cuff out of a fucking Solo cup. I made her belt buckle out of that same foam, and I just cut different pieces of foam and layered them on top of each other to give that 3D effect. And then I spray painted the foam with like hammered bronzy spray paint so it looked metal. Now her jeans, it did take me a little while, but on the plus side, it was all hand sewing. So you can hand sew things. You don't need to have an exact sewing machine. She basically has jeans and chaps. From the Walmart, I bought their Faded Glory denim jeans, and then I went to the fabric store and I got white vinyl and black vinyl. And I cut out my cow print shapes, hand stitched the cow print onto the white vinyl. I actually sewed them onto the jean, and then to make them look more like a chap, I added a little tie in the back and made them bigger than the leg. I don't know what color these cowboy boots were, but they were from Cheer. They were either black or white, and I needed them brown, and I wasn't about to go buy a pair of brown cowboy boots for a Halloween costume, so I spray painted them. I was never gonna wear black or white cowboy boots again. Out of that same foam, I hot glued like a little stirrup detail, and those were my boots for Jessie from Toy Story. Now, quick Google search tells me that I can purchase an adult Jessie costume for $49.99 at the Party City. And if you look at it, it's bad. First of all, her shirt looks like it's that spandex, weird thin spandex material. You know the fabric I'm talking about. From a distance, you're like, yeah, that's Jessie. But upon closer inspection, the whole outfit is a jumpsuit. This is one entire piece made out of that thin, shitty fabric. The shoes are not included, and it doesn't look like you get the wig. So for 50 bucks, you get a cheaply made, very thin onesie, and then there's mine. Look at how cute I was. Can't nobody tell me I didn't look exactly like Jessie, because I know I did. And speaking of looking exactly like someone, this is probably the cheapest costume I've ever done, and got the most like, holy shit, who is that walking through the door? I did actually wear this costume to a Halloween party at my friend's house. Like, I know them, but when I walked in, they treated me like they'd never seen me before, and I came as Bob Ross. Oh yeah, the most expensive thing I think I purchased was the Bob Ross wig. I just went to the Party City store and got like brown curly afro wig. But I glued beard hair onto my face too, because why? It's all about the details. I found everything I needed to find at the thrift store. My Bob Ross shirt, dad jeans, 501s I think, got them at the thrift store, gold chain, and then from another necklace, I found this medallion, but the backside was gold, so I just wore it backwards like that because Bob Ross liked his gold jewelry. And while these were way too big for me, they were almost identical to the shoes Bob Ross wears. And then I made a paint palette, and I cut the shape out, and then I just got paint, like actual paint, and glooped it on the paint palette and just laid it out to dry. And then, because it's all about the details, I went online and I found a painting by Bob Ross, printed it out, spray mounted it onto a canvas from like the Michaels, and then propped that up on the easel, and voila. And I swear, the best. Not my favorite, but the best costume by far. Now, let's say you can't sew and you do end up having to go and purchase a costume from the Halloween store. There are ways you can elevate that Halloween store costume. For example, Dorothy. While I did make that dress and it's balls on Dorothy's dress, there are things that you can do on the cheap to add the details to your Dorothy costume. For example, I found shoes at the thrift store. They were actually black. All I did was coat them in a thick layer of glue, put red glitter all over them. I sprayed a clear coat on the top to get my sparkly Dorothy shoes, because I was not about to pay the prices that they wanted for sparkly red shoes. And then, because my hair wasn't that long back then, I bought clip-in extensions, but I took the clip-in extensions, rolled them into a circle, and then around my little ponytail, I did another little rubber band and did a blue ribbon so that I had my Dorothy hair. I just found a basket at like, I don't know, the Michaels, maybe even in a thrift store. While I couldn't find a Toto dog, this was the next best thing. There's Toto in my basket. Pretty easy, right? Another very simple costume is Sandy from Grease. Like, after she is like, tell me about it, stud. I was that version of Sandy. I didn't sew one thing for this. I went online and I bought slickery looking leathery type leggings, because she wears those like nice tight legging type pants. I think they were $10. Then I made, but not sewed, her belt. I don't know why. I maybe didn't have a black belt at the time. I just got some fabric from the fabric store and I folded it and glued it, and then I got this little clasp that you just literally go like this. I didn't sew this at all. This is glued right here. And then as far as her shirt, I just bought a t-shirt and I cut the sleeves off so they were more like a cap sleeve. And then I cut a V and then I folded it down and I hot glued it so it gave you that exact look of Sandy's shirt. For her shoes, I did get them at the thrift store too and spray painted them red. Where are they? Here they are. They're a little beat up too, but I just spray painted them red. And don't die, I had my leather jacket from high school. Look at that, Wilson's leather. Anybody out there remember that? I had a bag and pleat, and I think it was like a Christmas gift or a birthday gift. It's genuine leather. And because Sandy's jacket is lined in red, I got red satiny fabric from the fabric store, and I cut panels of it out. I hot glued it into my jacket. I have since ripped out the red because I recycled this jacket for another Halloween costume. Tiffany from Bride of Chucky. I went to the thrift store and I found as close to a wedding dress as I could find. Kind of short, you know, I think someone used it for their prom, but because I needed it longer, I went to the fabric store and bought some white satin fabric, sewed an extension of fabric onto the dress to get my wedding dress. And I got some combat boots from the Walmart. I believe they were $8.99. And then I got a blondish, whitish wig. And to get the roots, black eyeshadow and rubbed it all in. And then, because she wears a necklace that says Tiff, out of cardstock, I cut out the word Tiff and then I spray painted it gold. And then I just went and bought a knife. Please. And then that was Tiffany from the Bride of Chucky. That was easy. Now another costume that I made that was a little bit more intense and at some points did bring me to tears when I was sewing it. I thought it was gonna go so much easier than it did. Wonder Woman outfit. I made this. I made it. It started out really easy, like her little crown. And the reason why I made the Wonder Woman outfit is because I wanted old school Wonder Woman, traditional Wonder Woman, actual Wonder Woman that we all grew up with Wonder Woman. None of this, you know, Wonder Woman with the costume that has the built-in abs and shit. I don't want that. I used a bunch of that same craft foam, hot glued gold lame right onto it and stitched a little piece of elastic so that it would fit around my head and my nice brown wig. Hot glued the gold lame around a rectangle of foam, just craft foam and hot glue and some gold lame fabric. Then I made her belt out of the same craft foam and same gold lame fabric hot glued around. When I was getting this out, I was like, you were pretty ingenious. I added Velcro to a lot of places because this is not a one-piece outfit. It looks like it's a one-piece outfit, but I don't know how to sew a nice fitted one-piece bathing suit. Ingenuity. I got blue bathing suit bottoms. I think I fabric glued stars onto the bottoms. And then I added Velcro so that when I was done with the top, I could Velcro the top to the bottom so that if I stretched or moved, you wouldn't see my skin underneath and it looked like one piece. I purchased bathing suit bottoms and glued white stars onto the front and to the back. I added her lasso of truth too. And this is her little belt that just Velcroed right around my body. For her bodice, I got a bustier and I covered it in red fabric. The issue for me was the stretch of the bustier and the stretch of the fabric. Actually, I had to have my friend Kelly come and help me. And then this is just gold ribbon that I hot glued on into the appropriate shape for my Wonder Woman top. I know. And then I got a big old brown wig, put it on, put my crown on. Oh, and I borrowed the exact Wonder Woman boots from a friend and then gave those right back. So I don't have them to show you. And I just was looking right now. Wonder Woman costumes, they're not cheap. There's literally a Wonder Woman costume on here that looks like a bodysuit and his pants for $236. There's the new Wonder Woman, which Wonder Woman didn't wear a skirt, for $45. There's another one for $59. There's another one for $64, $189. No ma'am, no thank you, no how, no way. I'm not paying $189 for a costume that I'm gonna wear one time. I would rather make it, and I did. And I looked way better as Wonder Woman than any of these models in these pictures from these store-bought costumes. That's all I'm saying. Now, the last costume I want to show you today to give you as much inspiration as possible is probably my most favorite costume, my most prized possession costume. I think I hit the nail on the head with this costume and all of the details. And that is my Cruella de Vil costume. I'm so proud of it. For Cruella, I bought an all black wig and then I spray painted half of it white. It's pretty matted down because I was Cruella many, many, many years ago. I wish I could have done it the other way because the white didn't really cover, but I don't remember finding a white wig that was cut in the right shape. So I had to go black and spray paint it white. Cruella's dress is just a straight column black dress. So I actually owned a straight, just up and down, no frills, black dress, but if I didn't, I would have just gone to the thrift store and tried to find one. So the main thing that I had to do was make Cruella's coat. It was coming down to the wire and a lot of the bottom and the hem and everything is hot glued together, but that's okay. I didn't care because the coat is amazing. I mean, seriously, look at how amazing this thing is. I even added the little black and white tassel-y things that she has at the end. Not the best lining job ever, but I did what I could. So it's fully lined, fully fur. No animals were harmed in making this Cruella coat. To top it off, I also made her bag. Yes, I did. And her accents are green. Her little cigarette holder, this one happened to be black, but I painted it green to match hers. I got her red gloves, and to even take the details further, I made her green ring, fishing lined a green bead onto a metal ring, got 2 other green beads, glued them to earring backs as my earrings. I know. Her shoes, you guessed it, bought at the thrift store and spray painted. So yeah, all of that to say this. It is October 1st. Start thinking about your Halloween costume and start thinking about ways you can create your look for less. Is that like, did I just steal like Payless's slogan or something like that? I think I might have. And I'm taking it right now and applying it to your Halloween costume. I wanted to show you some different costumes that I've made over the years and what I used, some kind of maybe out of the box, dare I say, innovative ways of achieving a look for way, way, way less expensive than you can find in those pre-packaged Halloween store costumes, and it's gonna look way better. If you wanna do just a costume for yourself, or you're doing, like I said, like a themed costume for every member of your family, peruse thrift stores, craft stores, look at things in a different way and how they can apply to the things that you need for your Halloween costume. This isn't a ring. I feel like this is like something for a sewing machine, but it just happened to fit my finger over the glove. This ring probably cost me like 50 cents to make. Some sewing machine part and a bead, and I got a ring out of it. I'll tell you what, you can make a shit ton of shit out of that craft foam. You can make crowns, belts, wrist things. I mean, you saw it. And that stuff's cheap too. Spray paint it, hot glue fabric over the top of it. You can do it. Start thinking about your Halloween costumes, because before you know it, time is gonna run out, and I don't want you guys to be running to the Party City or the Halloween store or whatever Halloween situation you have in your town and spending a fortune on a piece of shit costume. That's it. There is going to be plenty more Halloween content on the channel the month of October. All of our DIY Wednesdays, we're gonna DIY the shit out of Halloween and all of our decor this year, because the month of October is the best month of the whole year. We're gonna celebrate it on This Is Real Life. If you like this video and you found it inspiring and your brain juices are just going like, oh my God, I could be this, I could be this, I could be this. If I went to the thrift store and found this and went to the craft store and bought 7 beads and some foam, I could be this. Please give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. Be sure to ring that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of the Real Life Friday videos I push out, which is every other Friday at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. Make sure you share this video with your family and friends. And as always, thanks for hanging out.